Very few Magic the Gathering players ask the question, is it worth it to buy Innistrad Double Feature? Because Innistrad Double Feature is not worth it. The product, if you can even call it that, is an absolute fail. And there it is. That's really all you needed to know. The TLDW, as the kids say. Consider it a YouTube short. No, I won't go that low. I actually have a lot that I want to say about Double Feature, to dissect and explain why it is quite possibly one of the worst products Wizards of the Coast has ever made. The worst draftable product by a mile, the laziest, most cynical, and certainly the most disappointing. So, buckle up. Originally advertised by Wizards of the Coast as a curated draft experience, Double Feature was said to, quote-unquote, combine select cards from two separate sets, Innistrad Midnight Hunt and Innistrad Crimson Vow, into one unique draft experience. However, Double Feature is, in fact, not a curated draft set and does not combine select cards from these two sets. It is just these two sets. 100% of the cards except for the full art lands, but every other single card from Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow mashed together into one booster pack. Including duplicates. Yes, even including duplicates, mashed together in one booster pack. A 15-card booster pack, so no, this isn't just one booster pack of Crimson Vow and one booster pack of Midnight Hunt combined into some mega double pack, just a regular 15-card draft pack with half its contents from Midnight Hunt and the other half from Crimson Vow, broken down as such. Of the 8 commons, 4 from Midnight Vow, 4 from Crimson Hunt. Of the 4 uncommons, 2 from Midnight Hunt, 2 from Crimson Vow. Yes, there's 2 rares, 1 from each set, as well as a foil card. So yes, there are 2 rares in every pack. However, were you to buy 1 pack of Crimson Vow for $4 and 1 pack of Midnight Hunt for $4, you would also have 2 rares. Remember, Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt are the current standard sets. They're the most recent standard sets. They're on your shelves right now. So whereas a pack from each set would cost you $8 for those 2 booster packs, 1 pack of Double Feature is priced at $9.99 per pack. That's what Masters sets cost. Modern Masters, $9.99 per pack. Eternal Masters, $9.99 per pack. This is a pack of standard cards that are currently on the shelf, and they're charging the same price as a Modern or Eternal Masters booster pack. Booster boxes often have a bulk discount, and indeed you could save a few dollars on a full draft booster box of Innistrad Midnight Hunt or Innistrad Crimson Vow, getting all 36 draft packs in the booster box for about $100. Double Feature, however, will cost you $199.99, so I guess there's some savings to buy in bulk there, though unlike the 36-pack draft boxes of Crimson Vow and Midnight Hunt, Double Feature only contains 24 packs. Last year's curated set was Time Spiral Remastered, an expertly crafted draft experience that included select cards from the Time Spiral block. It featured new artwork and classic frames, reprints both from that block, and clever inclusions from outside of it. Now, we all know that due to the incredibly limited supply, prices on Time Spiral Remastered skyrocketed, but what baffles me is that prior to that supply crisis, the intended price per pack of Time Spiral Remastered was actually to be less than $9.99 per pack. Wizards of the Coast now wants to charge more for literally those current standard sets than it did for a set like Time Spiral Remastered, which had cards like Urborg, Chalice of the Void, and many more. And no, this was never billed as Innistrad Remastered, combining cards from the original Innistrad blocks to create a unique draft experience, but it was billed bundled as select cards from both Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow to create a unique draft experience. Again, their exact words, but they just dumped both sets together and even kept the duplicate cards. Bramble Armor, which appeared in both sets, appears twice here. You might get 2 in a pack, as do the other duplicates. Snarling Wolf, Evolving Wilds. The only thing left out were the full art lands. So I guess there is some selection after all. I mean, who wants full art lands in a $9.99 per pack product? But the duplicate cards aren't the biggest problem here. These two sets were designed to be drafted on their own, which of course doesn't mean that there isn't potentially interesting synergies between them that a curated collection could help emphasize and utilize, that maybe would have been a lot of fun to draft, but just dumping both sets entirely together does not do that. It makes it a mess, a slog of a draft experience, unfocused, where clear signposts lead to disappointing dud decks. When drafting an Innistrad set such as these, tribes like vampires, werewolves, spirits, etc. are going to be the go-to archetypes, especially for more casual players. But if I were to begin drafting vampires in Innistrad Double Feature, I would end up with quite a disjointed deck. You see, vampires in Crimson Vow care about blood tokens. They synergize not only with each other, but with other cards within Crimson Vow that interact with blood tokens. However, blood tokens were not in Midnight Hunt, so vampires drafted from there will not synergize, will not point to signpost blood token cards, and will just end up a mess. In Crimson Vow, blue-white has a really cool spirits and enchantments draft strategy, whereas in Midnight Hunt, blue-white cards focus on evasive flyers and getting disturb value. That can actually kind of mesh, but other elements like Midnight Hunt's day-night mechanic mean that if you don't try and limit yourself to Midnight Hunt picks, you're going to have a bad time. This is where curation comes in. That blue-white spirit/flyers archetype could easily have been curated to have the best, most synergistic cards from both sets. Maybe the day-night cards get cut in favor of ones that better work in a draft with one another in terms of themes or archetypes. A double feature double draft could have been great even without bringing in cards from prior Innistrad sets, but just dumping them together with no care, all the cards, every single one except the basics, gives us nothing. The value isn't there, and worse, the draft experience isn't there. Last year, special horror movie poster art cards were sold as a secret lair, featuring these wildly creative and engaging designs. They harken back to the old horror movies of classic yesteryear. Since Innistrad Double Feature insisted on using 100% of the cards from both Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow so that players could collect complete sets in Double Feature's unique style, it was widely thought that this unique and exciting artwork would feature in some way. Imagine working to collect a complete set of Midnight Hunt and a complete set of Crimson Vow in this style. Instead, Midnight Hunt features no new artwork, preferring to take the original cards and the original color art and simply desaturating it into a grayscale. The movie poster cards were amazing. An entire set with this art would have been stunning. What we got is confusing to look at and follow in terms of gameplay, and unremarkable as a collector's item. Now we need to address a dichotomy that Wizards of the Coast critically failed to grasp. Black and white artwork is cool, but color artwork put into grayscale is not. Now, I will take Wizards of the Coast at their word that each piece was individually adjusted by a real-life human, and this wasn't, as many of us first suspected, them just adding a universal grayscale filter across the board and calling it a day. But even so, works that were intended to be experienced in color suddenly getting adjusted into grayscale garners a largely negative result. So even if Wizards of the Coast made the incorrect decision of thinking a complete black and white set would be better received than a complete set using that movie poster art style, Why wouldn't they at least commission new black and white artwork so that instead of a dull, unremarkable grayscale version of existing art, we could have new artwork and new artwork that was intended to be experienced in black and white? The answer is because that would have cost them more money. Why pay an artist for a new commission when you can take an existing commission and just put it in grayscale? Why have your talented game designers sit down and create and curate an excellent and enjoyable draft experience when you can just include 100% of the cards from both existing sets? Because it costs no time, it requires no skill, and most of all costs no money to just put 100% of the cards in, rather than spending countless hours curating a fun game experience. Why pay artists for new work when you can adjust into grayscale for a fraction of the cost? Why not do as little as possible and still charge masters set prices? Why not do all of this when your customer base will buy it anyway? Well, for all of the reasons that I have outlined, it is my evaluation that you should not. You should not buy double feature. There's no there. There's no product there. This is Wizards of the Coast trying to see if they can sell you a product without actually making you a product. Don't be a sucker. Final conclusion. Innistrad Double Feature is a higher-priced product that gives worse value than just buying a pack of Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow individually. It is not curated. It has no new art. It has just taken existing color art from the previous two sets and put it into grayscale. It is not worth it to buy Double Feature to collect artwork. It is not worth it to buy Double Feature to play in draft. It is wholly, 100% not worth it and a fail. I have never, as far as I know, in the nearly 9 years of my channel, discouraged people from a draft experience. Now, I've said that in my evaluation, some draft experiences maybe weren't as strong as they could be, or in the case of some master sets, were not as strong as others had been. Certainly, I have railed against high-cost premium drafts on the basis of cost, on the basis of access. But in that criticism was the argument that yes, people want to and should get to draft these sets. I love playing Magic the Gathering, and I have never told people not to try and experience playing this great game. And so I have never said, do not draft this. But I am saying it now. Don't draft Double Feature. It isn't worth it. Do not buy Double Feature. It isn't worth it. How, please tell me, how could they have put less effort into this so-called set? Let me know in the comments below.